Okay, let's take apart an S10 rotor and hub assembly. First, we need to take off this top dust cap, grease cap, and it's just getting in there. Oh, this one's coming off pretty easy. Just getting up underneath it slowly and just prying. Nothing heavy duty, just little movements, and then it should just come right off. Yeah, just like that. Old grease, but it's greased. As you can see, it does spin freely. There's not, the other one had a different type bearing in it. But like I said, let's just tear this down so we can get ready to put her in the parts washer. Take your cotter pin out. And if you do it right, you can get it somewhat square again. It should just slide right out. No, I'm not going to lie. I'm one of these OCD guys. I like my tools clean as I go. Let's clean this out a little bit. There's your castle nut. And for those who want to know, if they didn't already, I'll get this castle nut off. It should, as it is now, coming off just by hand. Should never need to wrench on these. It's a fine thread. It should just come off. I'm using this for a little grip because, like I said, there's a lot of grease in here. As there should be. See, it just threads right off, no tool. Castle nut. They gave it that name because of the castle nut. Now I have been finding in here, whoops, these little shards, I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, of paper in the castle nut. So whoever put this together years and years ago used a paper towel to repack it. And you can tell because there's paper shards. But it's neither here nor there. We're taking it apart to clean her. One thing you can do, before I go any further, let's clean this out so I can show you. This washer and spindle hooked together. There's only one way to slide that down. There's this channel, and this washer, they never seem to want to come out square. There we go. Has a divot on it right here. And it just slides right down in there. And that way this can't spin. Now, looking at this washer, it's in pretty good shape still. It doesn't look like it's had too much heat ever on it. So the bearings have never gotten super hot, which for us is a plus. And now, this should slide right out. We'll be able to get to our bearings just like that. Put your finger in right down here. There's your bearing. Once again, this one has that plastic outer cone. Don't know what else to call it. See? A plastic. Yeah. Don't know what to call that. Take a look over our spindle. You want to definitely take a good look down in here. Check out your mating season. See, we've got a lot of grease down in here. There shouldn't be any grease past here. That means that this rear seal right here, yeah, this rear seal, yeah, it's pretty hard. May have failed, and that's why there's so much grease in here. Or they overpacked the bearings, and the first time it got hot, it had nowhere to go but push itself out. That's quite common, especially with these little S10s. You don't need to pack them for that much grease. That is a lot of grease. Whew, that's a lot of grease. Past that seal. But that's why this shield is built this way, to catch that grease and not to allow it to come out here and get on the brake rotor. So it did its job. There's no doubt about that. But like I said, we're just getting ready to throw this baby in the parts washer. Let's get the impact. And let's get that off. We'll take this dust shield off, rain shield, and then we'll throw it in the parts room. There we go. Like I said, OCD. Oh well, life in the fast lane. I'm using an old pizza box as a parts catcher for now, just so I know where things are at. And like I said, I'm not going to reuse these bearings. This, I'm hoping, is in the parts washer from the other one. I did not realize that I hadn't gotten it back on. But there should be. I got to take it back apart anyway. But there's your spindle. That's all there is to these, your front area. Now this spindle, this is where your the larger inside bearing reds, and it's still smooth, and it will have these wear marks on them. This one's got some good. It's not, the other one have a lot more, look like heat rash up here at the top. It was discolored a little bit. This one, you can see the bearing is run on it some, but there's no groove. Nothing with this latex, nothing with your thumb. There's no groove there. So it's good to go. I don't need new spindles or anything. For 30-year-old spindles, they're not bad. Like I said, I'm not going to be running this thing at 200-300 miles an hour. It's my hot rod. In the summer months, it's going to be more of my daily driver. And thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm going to pull that bearing out of the rotor case with the seal mover here in just a second, and just kind of clean that up a little bit. So when I put this back together, I won't pack it with grease or anything, but it'll let me roll it around the yard with no weight on it and all that until I can get a set of new rotors. Because in here, I can show you out here on this one. Right in here, they call it a race. And this bearing, as you can see, is cone shape. So that, excuse me, fits right in there. And it just, see, you can just hear it ever so slightly. It might be hard on camera, but there's there is some material in here. There's some, I wouldn't say sand, but it gives you that sense. So when you get new bearings, you have to pound out this race along with the rear one. It comes with another bearing. The bearing set's about $5 each. So front and rear, you're $10. It's, like I said, it's not end of the world crises, but there's no sense in putting in. I have no idea how old those bearings are, how good a shape they are. They're not bad, but like I said, with a brand new brake, I'm going to do slotted and rotored, and the hot rod type. It's just going to be easier to throw in new bearings, races, and start the car off basically from scratch. It's like I said, I just try to pop that out ever so gently, because I'll be able to put this back in after I clean it up a little bit. And there is your rear bearing. This one feels a little bit better than the other one, but the other one had quite a bit of movement in the cones, as they call them. So let's dig out some of this grease. Let's dig that out and get this pre-cleaned. And the grease smells good. Older grease will have, it's tough to describe, but rancid isn't quite the right word for it, but it will, and darker depending on what kind they use. It looks like they use the standard grayish grease, but older grease will get blacker and blacker, and you'll be able to kind of tell just by feeling around with it that it needs to it's time for it to go away. Yep. The grease had seen better days. Like I said, it's turned pretty good black, so. But it's not to be unexpected. But this old pickup, she sat for a while. She sat for quite a long, actually. Now we'll just clean out this little bit here, and that way the parts washer doesn't have to take out a bunch of grease. There we go. Yep. Let's get that big old glob. Yep. There we go. Okay, there we go. That glow's back to clean. There's a rag here. Let's take a look at that inside race. The other one had, I call them heat imprint. You could tell it kind of had, I wouldn't say scarring, but had been heated up once or twice, and the bearings sat there right afterwards. So well, this one looks pretty good on the inside. Nothing major, nothing too terrible. Yeah, looks like good set. Thanks for watching. We're going to throw this in the parts washer. And my other video, the one I posted yesterday, day before, whenever you watch it, showed you one that was already cleaned. I just wanted to show you that's all there is to disassembling these spindles. It's nothing hard. Like I said, it's just greasy. It's a greasy job. Now, if you were going to reuse this, definitely use your brake clean. Like I said, this one has been sitting out in a box, rusting. The rust is just superficial. These are actually, like I said, pretty good rotors. They're fairly new. They do have quite a bit of rust and bugs in the centers, and I could clean these up and I could reuse these pretty easily. But like I said, for just $100, you can get the drilled and slotted, and they just look cool. They're just high performance. My hot rod's not going to be high performance, but that doesn't mean we can't let the guy beside us think it's high performance, right? Once again, hit that like, subscribe, tell your friends. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.